Hello everyone, I wanted to come and show you how to do a blow dry that's going to prep your hair for curls. As you can see, I have a lot of natural curl in my hair already. I know it seems a little counterintuitive, but I'm actually going to take the curl out to put it back on. All you need is a paddle brush like I've got here and a blow dryer. I'm going to use Redken Smooth Down, just a little tiny dollop, you can see right there. There we go. And I'm actually I love to cocktail products, so I'm also going to use a little bit of a Matrix product called Curvy Queen. That's going to add just a little bit of hold. My hair is very, very fine in texture. So even though I have a lot of hair, it's very fine and thin. So like that means that each individual strand is pretty thin. So I'll just work the product through my hair. I try to get into the curliest places, so right around the hairline, underneath, and I'm just kind of trying to distribute the best I can, and then I make sure all of the product comes back off my hands into my hair. I'm not too worried about distribution. It'll happen naturally as I start to work with my hair. So now I'll turn the blow dryer on. I'm going to turn it on to the highest heat setting and flip it on. Here we go. As you can see, my hair has kind of started to dry a little bit on its own, but I want to go through and get out some of the moisture that's right at the root. And I want to show you how to ergonomically hold the blow dryer. Right? So the cord comes inside your arm. Notice how it's straight from my wrist all the way up through, or from my elbow all the way up through my wrist. So I'm right-handed. I like to use the brush with my right hand, so that means holding the blow dryer in my left hand. So you can notice that I'm not putting too much stress on my joints. And I'm going to first start the paddle brush around my hairline. That's where I tend to get a lot of curl, and this is kind of the part of your hair that's going to be presented, right? This is around your face, and so you don't want to give the front of your hair too much time to dry on its own. So I'm really going to get the brush into those curly spaces. As you can kind of notice here, I'm pulling everything forward. So I'll put the part in a little bit after. I want to be able to manipulate my hair, my part in any given way. So I just kind of blow dry the hair back and forth, but all with that forward motion. You can notice I'm just getting the dampness out of the roots first, and that will just kind of naturally, yeah, you can see just in the roots, and it'll naturally, as I point the blow dryer down, it'll naturally start to dry the ends as well. So now that I feel really good and dry at the root around my face, I'm going to start working into this, what we call the shaft of the hair. That's the length of the hair. So again, I'll start by my face, and when I find a pocket of hair that has a lot of moisture, I'm actually going to take some of that moisture out before I start working with the brush. Ideally, if you're going to go straight with your hair, you should probably use the brush the whole way through, but it takes a little bit longer. Right? So now I'm switching. Notice how easy it is to switch from right to left, and notice that cord comes on the inside of my arm. Okay. So again, I'm going to start to create a lot of tension with the brush. So you want to really pull the hair. So I'm just scooping the hair up and pulling, again, kind of forward. And you can see I'm working from the base of the hair and blow drying down. So even though I'm actually just kind of working towards the root of the hair, it's drying the entire shaft of the hair. And I just kind of work from the root all the way down. The root is going to be my priority, right? So I'll start to show you here a little bit from the back. I'm just going to work the hair in every direction. So back and forth. And that's kind of what that looks like. So from here you can see that I've got some like curl kinking up, but that's okay because we are going to go back in with a curling iron afterwards. My hair is about 80% dry here. So I feel like I've pulled out as much curl as I can. So now I'm going to kind of start to establish my part. And I'll try to keep my hair about in the same shape as I like finish out the last 20%. Now I'm gonna turn on a cooler setting. So now I'm gonna go to a medium setting now that I've got just a little bit left, and I'm really gonna work right onto the scalp, and I'm gonna use my fingers to find pockets of damp hair. And so the reason that I use the medium setting here is because I'm getting really close to the scalp and I'm drying right onto my fingers. And so number one, this is gonna keep my fingers and the skin a little bit safer. If you're doing this a lot, especially in the winter months, you can kind of start to like crack and dry out your hands. And then also because it's right on to the base of my scalp, and when the hair is a little bit more dry, it can start to feel really, really hot. So I'm just working through. What I'm doing is, honestly, I'm just searching for pockets of wet hair and drawing my attention there, and kind of moving everything forward. Yeah, you can see it's starting to become really dry, just finding those little wet spots. And really the hairline and like right around the ear is where it tends to like really stay damp, because we kind of tend to skim over those parts. Okay, isn't that looking nice? You can see how actually there's not much of my natural curl coming through now, as it's starting to get drier and drier, and that's what we're really, really looking for if you have curly hair like mine, because I want to put in my own curl, right? So now that my hair feels dry, I'm going to make sure that it is. You can see, yep, nice and straight. Yep, we see, Katie. Oh, yep. So you can see the hair actually looks dry. So now I'm actually going to put it on a cool setting. So I'm going to turn it all the way cool. And then there's this little button. It's like a cold blast. I'm going to turn that on, and I'm going to go back through, because what happens is that when you have the blow dryer on cool, you can actually notice better where damp spots are. So it looks like I found one. Yep, so now I'm gonna turn the heat back on, and I'm gonna hit that spot that I found. It is crucial to curl dry, 100% dry hair. If you curl onto wet hair, you're gonna damage the hell out of your hair. See, I'm switching back to cool. I'm gonna just search the rest of my head. If you, you'll damage your hair if you curl wet hair, and obviously that's no bueno, but also the curl's not gonna stay, so it's a total waste of your time. Right, so it looks like I found another little pocket. I'm gonna turn the heat back on, make sure that that's nice and dry, just work my fingers through there. Another benefit of ending on cool cycle is if your hair tends to get a little bit of frizzy, this will actually also help to close the cuticle. Which is good, because having an open cuticle on the hair can help let in frizz and moisture, right? So at this point, we don't want any moisture going into the hair. We simply want heat. Ta-da! There it is. Thanks so much, you guys. Let me know if you have questions. I'm happy to help.